Un lugar in between is a space for anyone who has ever felt in between places, cultures, or identities. I am Andrea, your host. In each episode, I talk with migrants, refugees, and people on the move about how change shapes us and how we build belonging along the way. This is a space to reflect, to be seen, and to build a more inclusive world. Welcome to another episode of Un Lugar in Between. Today I am with Kateryna Bova, an entrepreneur whose journey has taken her across countries and through big moments of change. We met just a few weeks ago at London Community Week, and what stayed with me right away was her warmth and kindness. And I knew I wanted to hear more about her story and share it with all of you today. Kateryna is from Ukraine, and her story speaks about reinvention, uncertainty, and important choices that many people face when building their life between places. Kateryna, welcome. I am really glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and happy to be here.
Well, we can start from a more personal place. I would like to ask always right at the beginning if you had to introduce yourself without mentioning your profession or job or any titles, where would you start? You can tell us about your values, what drives you, or what you like doing.
Yeah, so I have a big purpose. Maybe it's a bit about professional, but without any just titles or something. But I have a big mission or a big purpose to build world's number one community management agency rooted in Ukraine but working worldwide. But talking about something about my personality and about my values, they are freedom, growth, love, responsibility, and brave, I think. And about what I'm passionate about behind like all of this working stuff, it's first is the sport actually, because I love going for sports. It's functional strength trainings, it's snowboarding, it's hiking. Also, I love all the spiritual things like meditation, yoga, and different spiritual practices where you can explore deeper yourself and to connect with inner your voice. And it's traveling actually, because I love to explore the world, to explore myself, to explore different cultures, different people, and that's what inspires me, I think.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Everything what you say, despite the fact that we met briefly, I think it makes sense with who you are and yeah, like what you represent or share with others as well. So it's very good description, I think. And before we go into your story, I like to hear a bit about the current situation in Ukraine, because I know a lot of people are asking what is exactly the situation right now, and what does daily life look like where you are right now.
What I wanted to say that actually the war in Ukraine started in 2014 when the Russia occupied the Crimea, Donetsk and Luhansk regions. But on February 24, 2022, the Russia started full cycle invasion of Ukraine, and like it started not only in the east but also across the whole country. And about situation now, unfortunately, a lot of parts of our land are still occupied by Russia, and thousands of soldiers, especially like men and women, they are fighting for our land every day in the east of Ukraine. And a lot of Ukrainians, a lot of civilians that are on the home front, we are helping, we are volunteering, we are supporting the army, we are trying to help with any supplies for the army and trying to help them. And what is happening actually every day, Russia keeps attacking Ukraine, and there are not like military objects. They are like homes, hospitals, universities, roads, power stations with drones, with missiles, with ballistic attacks, and of course it's big dangerous and it's awful. But Russia keeps like doing that every day. I think it's hard for me always to talk about that, but it's actually our reality. So the first thing, and you ask me about like ordinary day of every Ukrainian. So It's a kind of resilience because during the whole day, for example, now, yeah, I'm in Kiev, I'm in the capital, we're doing this video, and before that I had some calls, and after that I will have calls with my clients. So like I'm living my ordinary normal life, but during the day I can hear air alert, and it means that something could be dangerous and you need to check the news, check what's happening, check maybe it's drones or rockets or something, and it could be dangerous and you need to go to the shelter, or you need to find parking area, parking garage to like feel more safety. And but most of dangerous part of the day it's actually evening. Moreover, it's like 11 p.m. or 12 when Russia starts like a lot of drones with a lot of missiles. And yeah, you want to go to sleep, for example, you want to sleep in, and sometimes because of loud of explosions or different sounds of drones, it's impossible to sleep, of course, and it's dangerous. And they you are going to parking or you're going to the shelter. So it's like a big contrast of our reality that during the day we try to have normal life because we need to have it, we need to survive, we need to live, we need to earn the money and so on. But evening part or like night midnight part, it's most of all it's super dangerous, and we need to like check the news, and you never know actually it will be your home, it will be your house, or it will be house of your neighbor. Because as I mentioned, it's not about military objects only about physical war, but it's also about mental war, because you it's really hard always to feel that, and to don't understand like you will be alive today or no, your parents, your friends, they alive or no. So like it's um it's scary and it's terrifying, and that's but actually that war is happening now. And yeah, it's about resilience. And then you wake up, for example, you didn't have normal sleep, and because you were, for example, in the shelter, and then it's like 10 a.m. and you're going to call with your client, you need to smile, you need to be happy, you need to, okay, maybe not to be happy, but you need to do your job. And this is the most craziest thing I need, because my opinion that when you're working with international clients or international companies, I don't think that you need to tell about that a lot. I mean, in a working space, because you have your responsibility, you have your job, and you need to do that. So it's a big contrast of our life, and yeah, but the thing is that a lot of Ukrainians, especially me, we are believing in the victory. And even now, having all of this situation, all of this awful situation, a lot of deaths, a lot of like drones, a lot of rockets, a lot of soldiers, a lot of like everything that like changed completely like every life, every Ukrainian's life, we still believe in victory, and it's something that inside of our DNA. Because during the centuries, Russia tried like to destroy our nation, our country, our homes, our language, our people, and it's something like really like a part of DNA to survive, to fight, and to protect our borders and try to save our lands, our lives, and our nation. And it's something also like about a big mission of every Ukrainian.
Wow, thank you for sharing all of this, because I know it's very hard to explain such a complex situation, especially because you start to get used to that situation, or start to live from inside is different, and really appreciate. And also I appreciate that you are willing to share this, because I know it's hard. I mean, you are telling like very um yeah, in serious, but I know it could be quite emotional.
For me, it's important to give other people like understanding what is happening, because I remember some days ago, one colleague from like other country just asked me, "Is it possible just to go in across the street in Kiev?" And I understand that people don't understand reality, that of course we can, but also we have like other part, it's dangerous part, and you never know.
Yeah.
When you hear air alert, you don't know it's everything will be okay, or everything will not be okay. And it's the hardest actually part, because you, like, when you are in your working mood, you don't think about the war, so you just doing a lot of job, because it's also about
Yeah.
Ukrainian part is always to work a lot, to like to do everything that you can. Of course, there are a lot of like different types of Ukrainians, but I mean, most of them, like me as well, we are doing what we can do, and we do sometimes impossible things just because maybe we don't have a lot of like we can be tired. And especially when I was living abroad, it was the same. I think I know that we maybe will talk about that later, but even when you are Ukrainian and you are living abroad, mentally, even if you're physically in safe place because there is no war, but mentally you are always thinking about your home, about your land, about your parents, about your
Yeah.
friends. And it's, I don't know, it's so crazy thing. And but somehow we are doing great projects, we are launching big businesses, we are helping our army, and it's crazy, but I really appreciate that we are doing that. And I'm really proud being Ukrainian and to see how Ukrainians are doing and are working even in like this awful situation.
Yeah, I think like, yeah, like some people don't understand if they haven't experienced something close to that, like, like how like people always ask about like if it, or imagine like during the war is how it looks like. For that, I wanted to start with that question because I know is this huge contrast between like being working during the day and trying to get your routine or your normal life, because this is like how our brains work, and also like you deserve to live your life, like it's you yeah, you deserve to work and you deserve to build the life that you can do while you are staying there despite all the situation. But yeah, I think it's, thank you, because I think really helps to understand this contrast and how this influence what you say, not only physically in the safety of physically part, but also like mentally living in that uncertainty for you and your family and your friends, and I don't know, checking the news or listening to the alarms and all of this. I would like to go back a little bit to the moment you left Ukraine, because something I was particularly interested is that you decided to left the country and you decided to go back to Ukraine. So I want to talk a bit more about that. So first, I would like to ask you, how did you end up moving or leaving the country in the past? When was that?
Mhm.
And yeah, a bit of
Yeah,
context about that.
it's a big and interesting story, but I will try do that like shortly. So when the full scale invasion started, I was in Kiev, in the capital, and actually I was this type of Ukrainians that didn't believe in the big war. I didn't believe in the full scale invasion because for me, even knowing the history, even knowing like the past of relationship between Russia and Ukraine, I didn't believe, because it's like, come on, 21st century AI, like everything is growing. And so, yeah, for me, it was insane. And yeah, I remember this day. So actually, 20th February 24, it's like the worst day in every Ukrainian's life because everything broke like in 1 second, in one moment. And I remember my manager at 5 a.m. just called me and said, like, Kate, it started. And I was in shock because I was in Kiev. I was living my the best life. I've been working in IT these days, and actually had everything to be happy, normal girl, like living my the best life. I don't know. I was really happy, and I've never thought about leaving Ukraine because before that, before the full scale invasion, I've been traveling a lot, and I've been also a part of different projects, young like projects and so on. And for me it was important to, like, for example, to travel somewhere, to go abroad, and then to bring something new knowledge, new experience to Ukraine, and especially to Kiev, to my work. So I just was living my best life, and then one day I like heard this call, this call, and I was in shock. And I remember this day, so 5 a.m. I was standing, and I really didn't know what to do because I had two parts of my personal life. So first, with my parents, because all of my family was in Sum region. Sum region is closest like region in the east of Ukraine, and my small town, my native town where I was born, where my family was, and actually they are here right now, trusting it in Sum region. So it was occupied, and like in first 2 3 hours, and I didn't know if my family were alive. I didn't know what to do. And second thing is my ex-boyfriend. Actually, he was in Poland, and I was in Kiev, just only one. And I remember this day, I just tried to like write my colleagues, my friends, and everyone tried to find the best way what to do because nobody knew what to do. Uh, to go somewhere or not, to stay at home or not, to go to the shelter or not, because you don't understand. Like now, in like 3+ years, we understand what is going in and how we need to be survival. Yeah, but this day you don't know what to do. Like you are just in shock, and you don't know what is better way. You don't know what is dangerous, what is not dangerous. To go by train somewhere is dangerous or not. To go by car somewhere is dangerous or not. Like, and so on. So, and about Poland, it was actually it was easy decision because my ex-boyfriend was in Poland. Poland is the closest like country to Ukraine. Also, I've been in Poland, and I knew good like Wrocław, Warsaw, and other different cities. And I knew a lot of Polish people, and I really appreciate their support because Polish people supported a lot. Different Ukrainians, millions actually of Ukrainians. So that is why I didn't want to stay in Kiev alone because I was scary. I didn't know what to do. Like I felt powerless. And I think like some days or the first week I was in Ukraine, but then I went to Poland and we met with my boyfriend. And I was completely sure that in 3 days or maximum in 1 week, we come back to Ukraine because everything will be finished. I was exactly like sure that it will be like this way because I didn't believe that it could be more. It's like it's insane. But yeah, I was in Poland during 3 years because the war didn't finish, and yeah, that is why I was in Poland.
When you see like it was more days or more weeks and years, what was going through your mind? How do you imagine, or what was your expectation, like when you realize like, okay, this is taking longer? How do you feel at that moment, or what was your expectation at that moment?
Mhm. It's painful because you want to come back home, but you don't understand if it's safety. You think that okay, maybe it's better to live like some time abroad and then come back home, but you don't know how long because nobody tells you how long the war is going. Because of course it's impossible to have this prediction, to have this assumption, and you are always like in this state where you are keep like doing and living your life, but from the other side you always have some uncertain, so you don't know how to plan your life, you don't know how is better to what is better to do for you. So you are always about the state and about what was in my mind, you are always asking a lot of questions and you don't have answers. And one day you are just tired because you just want to know what is better to do, but nobody has like answers. What to do, where to stay, what is better for you. Because from the one side, it was better for me and for my parents and for my family because it was like a safe place. But from the other side, I wasn't happy because it's not my land, it's not my language. It's and actually it's the biggest difference between migration when you planning the migration and when you understand that hey, I wanted to go to the Portugal, I love Lisbon, I love these flats, I love these neighbors, and so on and so on. But other thing is when you need to start everything from the scratch, and it wasn't your decision. And when you have values, especially like freedom, growth, love, and so on, like everything broke. So yeah, you don't know what to do always. And it's strange feeling, and I really don't wish anybody to feel that, because like you can't control it, you can't choose what is better for you, and you always doing like small steps, small plans, small decision. And the biggest thing that changed, you and me like as well, and a lot of Ukrainians, we started to plan just for one day and started to live the life in one day. I mean, sometimes it's stupid in our case to plan in long term, because every day can change something because of the work context. And it was big difference, because I love control a lot of things because of the work. I love to plan and a lot of things, and you are lost. What I felt also, you're just completely lost and you don't know what is going on. But you're like adult, and being adult and to feel that, it's yeah, like the feeling of being lost, I think.
I feel related in a bit because yeah, in Venezuela is not a war, but a lot of people, million of people, were forced to leave the country because the situation now is a dictatorship, and I understand that because you are. I think it's different when maybe you decide to migrate anyway, but like in different sense or like for a few years, but during those years not knowing what is going on and not knowing like if you will be able to go back, but also like the all the feeling or the grief of leaving the country, but also like thinking about the people that you have there. So it's a lot of things going on, and yeah, I know it's very hard. And thank you again for sharing and be completely honest about how you feel, because I think this could help a lot of people that it experience
Mm.
this type of migration, like forced migration, to understand better and feeling that they are not alone in their feelings, and how they can recognize in your story,
Mm.
or in some parts of your story.
I just try to remember what helped me, because when you understand that you can't control a lot of external things, and you are in shock and you are lost and everything is terrifying. And what helped me, and I hope that nobody like will feel that, but if you are in like the same situation or something, what helped me and helped my friends is try to control a lot of things that you really can control. For example, you can control that you can go to the gym, or you can control what you are eating, or you can control what you are drinking and how much water like you are drinking during the day, or you can control if you are going walking or no. So like a lot of like small things about your routine, about your health, about your body, about like talking with your friends. It's so helpful, and especially what helped me a lot, when you can share your emotions, because a lot of Ukrainians, and I mean, if you are in the same situation, the best thing is to find somebody who understands you, and who with whom you can share, you can cry, you can be angry, you can share what you are thinking about. And like, it was so helpful just to find your people and try to control small pieces, like small things in your like day-to-day life that you can really control, and to feel that no, you are living your life, this is your body, this is your borders, and you can influence in some small things. And it helps you to come back to reality, to recharge sometimes, and to continue doing what you're doing. Because if always just sitting and thinking about the world and about the war, uh, it's not healthy for your mental health, because it's all only about negative things. And it was so hard for me as well. Do not focus sometimes on the war, because you need to continue to work, you need to continue do a lot of like great things, and to find power inside to do this great thing. But when you are focused only on, oh my God, why it's happening, it's so bad, it's so bad, it's not a good way. So try to focus on this.
Yeah, yeah, such a good advice, and thank you for sharing, because I think about this podcast as well is how we can recognize in the stories of others, but also find tools that we can apply in situations that we are going through. I think you told already you are you work hard, and you started your agency a few years ago. I am not sure if you start your own agency while you were living abroad or just before
Yeah,
leaving
yeah.
the country.
I was living in Poland. Yeah, it
Okay,
was
so
more than 1 year ago.
that's so good. And I want to ask you what inspired you to start your own agency, and if do you think that the experience as a migrant influence in that decision or not?
Yeah, I think here is like two parts. First is something about my personality, because as I mentioned, one of like my biggest value is freedom and growth. And just one day, I've been working in IT. I had amazing teams, amazing products. I've been working a lot with communities, with educational programs, with investment funds, with big like tech IT companies, and I had actually like amazing working career, but like one day I just started to think, is that enough for me? And when one day you have these thoughts, so it's hard to stop it, because you just thinking and thinking about that. And I ask myself like, what I really wanted to do, and if I wanted to develop in this sphere and I want to be somewhere in like another company, or I wanted to start something by myself. And to tell you the truth, it wasn't like one day and I decided or something. I was thinking a lot about that, because of course I understood risky and like everything, but it was something about inner voice. And I think a lot of people that who starts their entrepreneurial way, they understand that it's something inside that sparks you, and something inside that tells you like, you need to stop this and you need to try to do this. And so yeah, it was something about my inner voice. It was something, and also my body told me that, for me even physically was hard to continue my job, because I felt like something is wrong here, something is not about me now. So I appreciate this experience, I appreciate all of these people, I appreciate my company, but I feel that like it's enough for me now, and I have another way. So it's just about inner voices, not about something external. And so yeah, and I just tried to do that. And second thing, I think it was about also I think it was about external actual things, because when you are the part of the big war, it's you have a bit different feeling of the life, because you understand that your life could like end it in any day. You don't know about that. Even when I was in Poland, so I was in safety place, but when you see how like the things is going around you, you see that in any day your previous life could be destroyed like in some seconds, and you need to like start something from the scratch. I think I felt more like boldness or something, that's just to start something, because we are living in so strange times. And from the one side we have a lot of like amazing things that our nature gave for us, but from the other side we have a lot of conflicts, we have a lot of political issues, we have the wars actually. And yeah, I think it also was a big motivator after my like inner voice to try to do something that I've never done before, but in what I believe. Because for me, especially, faith is a big motivator. And when I lose my faith in something, when I lose, like, when I don't believe in some project that I'm working with, for me, it's hard to be satisfied about my life. So it was like two parts: inner voice and understanding how the world is going. And I didn't want just, to sit and see how, like, I don't realize what I really want to realize, even when I will not have success. But now, during like 1+ year, I understand that it was an amazing decision. But even if not, I tried. And better to try than just thinking, oh, if I did something, maybe I like had something. I just tried.
I think when you left your country, and in your case, like you experience all of these things suddenly, and like all of this uncertainty, and you are managing that, I think that gives you like this faith as well, and this push, like the positive push. You say like, I am capable to do this, like maybe it's like unconscious. I don't think that, well, I don't know you, but I don't think we are like that very confident people that we say like, yeah, we can do this. I think it's more like unconscious, like
Yes.
I think I like, your brain say like, if you experience all of this, you have more control on this, you can plan on this, and you have the abilities and skills to do it, so just do it. So I am very glad that you try on, and that you are still working on that. I would like to ask you about if there are like some challenges, or yeah, like the biggest challenges that you experience working as an entrepreneur in Poland, personally or professionally, because yeah, starting a business is a big move. So starting a business on foreign country is I think is harder. So so what were the biggest challenges at that moment?
I think the biggest challenge wasn't about country, was more about like business stuff, because I was scared because I didn't know how to do all of these things. For example, now, of course, I'm just smiling and it says, oh, we can do this and this. But when it was like the first day, and actually when I was thinking about agency, because I didn't plan that, I wanted to start my consulting, to choose some spheres because I had different spheres, but community management was, I don't know, just the most popular. That is why I focus on this, because I had a lot of requests, external requests about this topic. So I didn't plan to launch any agencies. It was like natural things. And the biggest challenge was understand how to continue do a business when you are a junior entrepreneur. But also about like living in Poland, it wasn't more about doing business in Poland, because I had most of my clients were Ukrainians, and that is why it was easier for me, because it was Ukrainian language. I understood a lot of Ukrainians things, how to like have negotiation, or how the client service could be from my side for my clients and something. But the challenge was being in Poland, just to be not at your home. I mean, because you have a crazy stuff doing with your first business, because it's my first experience being entrepreneur. But the second thing, you are always thinking about the war, about the news, about legalization, that you sometimes you like don't have some support here, because I mean, because it's not your people, because it's like Polish people, they support you as Polish people, but sometimes you need like support of Ukrainian communities. That is why I try to be part of different Ukrainian communities in Poland. And so the biggest challenge was just being not at home, because it was two things that made a lot of stress for me, like the first business and the war in parallel. And I think it was more about that, but not about the country. Because, as I mentioned, Polish people support a lot, and it was easier to be legalized in Poland. It was easier to do some stuff in Poland. And yeah.
Yeah, I understand. It's just more like about what we were talking before, no? Like how mentally we are in another place, and like the culture and all of these factors that influence in how hard could be starting a business. And eventually you made the decision to return to Ukraine, even with all the uncertainty and risks that we
Yes.
were mentioning, and you are now in Ukraine. And what led you to that choice?
I just wanted to tell you the truth. So I've been living in Poland for 3 years, and I actually went a lot to Ukraine because it's close, and I can. I had a lot of offline stuff in Ukraine as well, and so that is why I've been living in Poland. But also, I think one time in 2 3 months, I went to Ukraine, and so how it happened, we finished our relationship with my boyfriend, and I was single, and I was thinking, okay, so now I have a lot of opportunities. I'm in Poland, and I just felt that I didn't want to be here. I can explain it. It's more about inner feeling, just it's not my land here, and I don't feel that I wanted to continue living here in Poland. um, and I was thinking about different places, and I was traveling. I was in Bali, then in Portugal, then again in Warsaw, and I just tried to find. Actually, here it was different way of your decision because it was your planned migration or planned moving, and I tried to find, okay, where I can feel better. And it's also like one day I just was walking, going to the shop or something for water, and I was thinking, I wanted to come back Ukraine. It was like just one thought in a small situation, like just walking, and it was 1 second of the thought, and asked myself why I wanted to do that. Just I always wanted to do that, but I had like different situation why I didn't leave the Poland. So yeah, it was like one thought, and I don't know how things will be going, of course. But when I trying to think about Kiev again, about my home, about the capital, because this is actually the best place ever. I've been traveling a lot, but Kiev is the best place, and I really want one day when the war will stop, will finish. A lot of my colleagues and a lot of my friends abroad, especially you, Andrea.
Yeah, I will definitely be there.
It's, I mean, it's amazing place with amazing people, with amazing energy. A lot of entrepreneurs here, and a lot of business starts here, and this like amazing place just. And I felt the energy when I was thinking about Kiev, and I was thinking about Ukraine, and it for me it was bigger than safety, and for me it was bigger than sometimes I can feel this dangerous. And I understood all the reality without like pin glasses or something. But for now it's my, I think, fourth or third month in Ukraine, and I'm the happiest person ever. So I mean, it's also a big contrast because from the one side, you are enjoying so much your life. From the other side, you have a lot of painful things. You have a lot of death. You have a lot of things that that make you like painful and do something bad for you, and a lot of negative things because of the war. But it's I don't know, it's insane, but that's how it works, and that is why I came back Kiev. Just felt that I need to be here, need to be on my land now, and that is why I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. I understand completely that because it's well, it's linking with that inner voice that you were mentioning before, but also I think when we are in our homes or in our places, something is different. I don't know, like we are. I feel it's just easier to exist. I don't know, or to be,
Yeah,
and that I think creates that happiness, and also like that was your decision to return. So I think also following, yeah, that inner voice and building your own decisions, that really helps to be happier or to be, yeah, like feel better despite all the situation. I would like to ask if your family or friends, they are still there. There are some families and friends living there, or most of
yeah,
them.
I have a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues in Ukraine, a lot. And actually, all of my family is in Sumy region. And it's a bit scary because, for example, to month ago I just went to my family, and you understand that the border with Russia, it's only like in 40 kilometers, like it's nothing.
Okay.
Like it's too close to Russia.
Wow.
But I understand my parents as well, because this is their land. They have their own like life there, and it's so strange feeling, because you are going to your parents, you are happy, but from the other side, when night is going, I'm afraid a bit, because I don't know what will be happening, because
Yeah.
it's too close, and sometimes you don't have enough time to like to go to the shelter or something. So yeah, it's crazy, but I understand every Ukrainians why they are like why they don't like live in Ukraine and they are here, because this is our land. And yeah, as you mentioned, you feel the power here. You feel that you are on your place. You are not in the wrong place. And when I was in Poland, when I was in Warsaw, everything like was perfect like externally. I mean. It was safety and something, but it wasn't about aliving. Like I didn't feel alive, you know. And in
Yeah.
Ukraine, I feel the life in like all emotions, and I'm happy here to see the best people, to see the best streets, to see like the best art, like the best everything. Because it's about my nation, and yeah, when you are connected with your nation, with your people, even when you are abroad, even when you are in Ukraine, for me especially, it's a big power to continue doing what you are doing. When you respect where you're from, because I respect where I'm from, even about my small town. I love this town so much, and I feel that I connected with this town. I love Kyiv so much. And when you are abroad and you remember where you're from, and when you respect your relatives, when you respect people around you, and yeah, for me it means a lot. It's a lot of energy, a lot of power, and a lot of senses actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it, and I can completely relate it to that, and also, of course, I understand because some people have like the opposite feeling, like they when they go back to the country, they feel like, oh, I don't belong anymore here, and I respect that as well. But I am related with what you are telling, like that feeling walking in the same streets, or like it's something like activating yourself, like you don't have in not necessarily have in other places. You have other things, that's true, but yeah, I can completely relate it with what you are saying. I i want to ask you something that maybe is a bit personal. But if have there been moments where you doubted your decision to return, or perhaps moments that have reaffirmed it, like some moments that you regret that why I returned here, or like the opposite?
In my case, no, because when I came back Ukraine, I don't know how it happened, but different puzzles of my life just started to be more connected. And now I see clear what I want, where I wanted to go, what I want to reach. I mean, I don't know, just everything started to be more clear. But you mentioned good ways. Sometimes you come back and you understand that you don't come back in the same place and in the same country, because Kiev at the capital changed a lot, because you are going to energy of the war and you are literally inside the war. And it's I agree that it's not easy for some people, and it depends on different experience that you had before. I think in my case, it was easier because I went to Ukraine a lot of times during these 3 years. And that is why I had like the context of Ukraine, and I had the context of my abroad living. So I was like split into two parts, you know, like migration living and Ukrainian living, something like that. Maybe that is why it was easier for me. I don't know. But I'm happy that I did that.
Yeah. And how have these experiences shaped who you are today? So if you look back at yourself like before leaving Ukraine, and now, what do you think it's changing you? Like what yeah, like parts of your personality of who you are today?
Um, yeah, it's so deep question actually. Mm,
Yeah.
in my case, I think it's broad up your horizons, because you are, as a personality, you are growing, and you understand this world better, because you understand better and deeper different nations, different countries. You understand deeper yourself. What changed a lot is connection with my inner pieces, because you need to have a lot of different choices, a lot of different decisions. You are growing in this, you're going in crisis. You need to find the way what is better for you. You have a lot of obstacles, and it's so hard just to live like in this life. And I think all of these things, migration, the war, and a lot of thoughts and traveling and everything like during the last 3+ years, it's made me stronger, more confident, more deeper, more connected with my heart. And for example, now when I want to decide something, um, always I ask myself, I try to hear not my mind, not my analytical thoughts. I try to hear my heart, because your heart always knows the right answer for you. And this is amazing, like deep things. And I didn't have that before. Now I have, and I appreciate it, and try to hear my heart.
I really admire like all of what you are sharing today, and I want to say, as I say at the beginning, like it it's really noticeable what you are expressing right now. Like you look and you sound like a person very connected to your emotions and your feelings and what drive you. And I just want to tell you, like we don't meet each other for long, but I already noticed that. So I agree 100% with that. And I would like to ask you as well, if like what does belonging mean to you now, after living all of these experiences?
Ooh,
Yeah, they are the deepest ones.
that's one. Okay, let me think. I think belonging for me now, after this experience, is about your choice. Your choice where to stay, with whom to stay, with what things to be connected, with whom to be connected. And belonging is about physical part and emotional part. Physical part, it's about you, where you are, and if you are feeling happy, because your sense of belonging could appear in other country, and it's okay. For example, if you find better life somewhere abroad, I think it's good. I have a lot of friends that living in different countries, they're happy, they have new families and so on, but and they have another state of belonging to another country, to another nation, to another culture. And I think that belonging is about choose something. And about mental thing is physically you can be belonging, for example, to Canada or to Portugal or to like Polish communities or something, but mentally you also could be belonging to Ukraine, and you can still support Ukraine to try to do some good things for Ukrainian companies, Ukrainian people, Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian army, and you can choose what you are doing and where you are feel this belonging, and with whom. I think that's like that.
I always come up, well, in the first episodes come up as well, like this dual thinking about belonging, no, like because like there are some places that make you more welcome or make you feel that you belong more to like places or communities, but also is what we choose to belong and to do the like the effort yeah, like to understand what is happening inside us and around us. I think that's very true. We are coming to the end of the episode, and I want to ask you just a couple of questions more. First is, what gives you hope for the future, for your future, for Ukraine, for the world?
I just know that everything will be okay. I just believe it. I know that the victory will be one day. And I know that a lot of Ukrainians believe as well in this, and it's so powerful believing. So I just know as a fact that one day it will happen.
And finally, what is one question you wish people will reflect on after hearing your story, like a question they ask themselves, or what would you like to stay with them?
I have this question. It's actually a question from one book. The question is why you are here in
Oh,
general.
I
You
love
can
it.
all the physical things.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Kate. I really, really appreciate talking to you today and knowing more about your story. It's very inspiring, and I really admire all your journey. And I especially admire like you still creating and be creative and resilient, even in the most difficult circumstances. And yeah, I really appreciate that, and thank you so much for accepting part of this space.
Andrea, thank you very much. And I want to also to say you thank you because I know that for different foreigners, it's so hard to ask something about Ukraine, to ask something because it's so sensitive topic and they don't know what is better to ask, where are the borders and so on. And you made so big job, I think, just writing this question, being here with me on this podcast, and I really felt so like easygoing, just share with you my thoughts without like without any fear, and I just feel that you will understand me. So thank you for that.
Uh,
It's a big thing for me. Thank you.
yeah, thank you. I hope this episode helps to better understand what is happening in Ukraine, but also to understand those feelings and emotions when people are forced to leave their countries, but also when people decide to return their countries. I hope this episode helps to understand better all of this. Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you, and see you.